with amazing, guests like this and makeup artists, Academy Award-winning makeup artists. So again, let's give a huge applause to Lois Burwell and to Deborah. And we're going to go ahead and move on with it and bring out this amazing man, Bart Mixon. But before we do that, before we have Deborah come up here and moderate, let's take a look at this clip.
Hi, Georgie.
All right, you guys, let's give a huge welcome to our very special effects artist, Bart Mixon from IT, as well as our moderator, Deborah Weeks. Huge applause.
How cool is Bart's shirt, by the way, everyone?
Yeah.
Bart, I'm honoured to call you my friend. This is an amazing piece of work. This is your icon. You took this from beginning to end. Can you talk about how you got involved with this project?
First of all, I just want to say, seeing those Legend clips, that's clearly the best makeup Tim Curry's ever worn. I'm happy to be second place there. The Legend was just amazing. Let's see. I had a working relationship with Fantasy 2 Film Effects, Gene Warren Jr.'s company. They did Fright Night 2 for Tommy Lee Wallace, and Gene brought me on board to run his creature shop. They didn't have one before. He wanted to kind of compete with Boss Films and be able to offer miniatures and visuals and creature effects. So anyway, we had a relationship from Fright Night 2, so when it came along, it was just a natural transition.
Can we show, Josh, can we slow side 2, please?
Oh, there's some old pictures, some old drawings.
Some old drawings. These are drawings you did, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about, no, these haven't been seen before, have they?
Some people have seen them. They'll be in this documentary on it that's coming out in July. This was probably the first thing I did for it when I was just trying to conceptually work stuff out, which I quickly found that it was kind of pointless to do until I had an actor to design the makeup for, because makeups like this are so performance driven. But the one reason I did include this was my original concept for Pennywise was when the kids saw him, he would be the friendly clown. And then 30 years later, when the adults saw him again, he would be like a horrific caricature of that clown, because story-wise at that point, they knew that he wasn't a clown. But Tommy didn't see it that way, so.
Yeah, but there was also a reason for that, wasn't there? Wasn't there a reasoning continuity of shooting and stuff?
Tommy was afraid that scheduling-wise, there would be a day when we'd want to do both looks. But I was like, well, I looked at the schedule, and
it's not there.
There's no conflicts. But and I'm not saying that was a wrong decision. I mean, seeing the movie now, I think I think Tommy made the right choice. So.
Could we see the next image, please? Can you talk about this?
Yeah, these are just in the design process for coming up with the makeup. Again, I did a few sketches, but they were just kind of pointless until we knew Tim was going to be Pennywise. I guess Roddy McDowell and Malcolm McDowell were also in the running, but they wisely chose Tim Curry, even though both of those guys would have been great too. So then I took a headshot at Tim. I just probably did dozens of pencil drawings and would submit those to Tommy, who by this point was up in Vancouver prepping the show. I was in Burbank, building. So he picked 3 that he liked, which I then did clay sketches. So those are the top row. And that's just water-based clay on a plaster head of Tim. And then I painted those up with, potential paint schemes. Tommy picked the one in the middle and then decided that's what he wanted me to develop as a prosthetic makeup, so I had to resculpt it and break it down as a prosthetic. Originally there was aside from the head piece and the nose, there was also cheekbones and a chin. My inspiration for that particular design was Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera, so that's why he's got like the upturned nose and that sort of thing.
You've also talked about when people copy your makeup.
Okay, these are from the first makeup test. So again, the one on without the blue eyeshadow, that was the first pass where it was the headpiece and the nose prosthetic, and we just painted him white with Pax paint because I wanted a nice, pure, opaque white. A lot of clown white kind of goes gray. But the patterns on it, the paint job was Tim's, motivated by Tim. Those were his suggestions. Then on the same day, we did the second test where we added the cheekbones and the chin. And I kind of rather hurriedly tried to copy the design that Tommy had approved, in the pre-production. So then we photographed both of those. Tim wanted to wear as little prosthetics as possible because Legend was still fresh in his mind. So the cheekbones and chin were dropped. I needed a certain thickness on the head for when he gets hit with the rock and it knocks a hole in his head. So I needed a certain depth for the rigging for that. So I was able to, and I believe Tommy wanted kind of a light bulb head also. So we were able to keep that because I think Tim would have been happy with just a bald cap,
How did you make that white? Because making white work.
Solid blue, and like white teeth that would just be white. But we, narrowed it down to this. But everything was just, it wasn't like some blood red or something like that. It was just red, blue, just pure. And then they also matched I think they matched the Krylon palette pretty well from if I needed rubber grease colors.
Can we see the next image, please, Josh?
Oh, there we go. After we did those initial tests, they wanted another pass at the to hone in the pattern work. This is almost there. I had to go back to Burbank, so I had an assistant in Canada, Joanne Smith, who was recommended to me by Stefan Dupuis. So she and Tim and Tommy did this pass to, again, narrow it down a little. And then when we started filming, it continued to evolve. I think like the eyelids here are more oval and they became pyramids. They have liner, which we dropped the liner. I still lined the lips. So this was just, again, it's a collaborative, as any of these makeups are, it's a collaborative process.
There's actually also something quite sad about the character, isn't there?
It might be it might just be him being tired of 40-hour days in my career. And one of them was on It, where I had to go in the shop and work a full day, and then had a red-eye flight to Vancouver. It got delayed. I got to Vancouver with about maybe 2 hours before my call time. I didn't want to try and sleep because I figured it'd be harder to wake up than, just power through it. So then we did the makeup and shot a whole day. So I think by the time I ended up going to sleep that evening, it had been 40 hours, so that sucked. So I don't advise doing it. So
how did it work? How did you work with Tim Curry and the director in collaboration on creating this makeup?
Well, again, kind of like what we went over already. Initially, I fed Tommy Lee Wallace a lot of design work. I didn't have any interaction with anyone else in Vancouver, so maybe he was talking with his art director or whoever. But he was, giving me his response, and then I would modify things from that. And then again, once he selected the basic look that we then turned into the prosthetics. And then when we did do the makeup on Tim, then he had some thoughts on the paint scheme. And then so it was, a lot of satisfying Tommy and Tim. I think this him in the laundry when he kills the little girl at the first episode, where he's in the laundry. The eyebrows are have a real S curve to them, and then they slowly evolve to what we ended up with.
Can we see the next image, please?
Okay. And that's just him screwing around. I'm sure. I mean, we did have some fun in the trailer, so I'm sure at some point, once we just got those pieces on him, we decided to throw the wig on and get a photo. I mean, obviously, we painted everything before we put the wigs, which I will say Jack Bricker, a wonderful hair guy, tied all my wigs. We had 3 wigs, and he made those for me.
Are they the same wig or are they different?
They were just copies of the same. So, because I knew he was going to be shooting for 8 weeks, I wanted to have backups.
Yeah.
Some of them got a little trashed, just in filming. So yeah, just a safety.
Can we see the next image, please?
Oh, and again,
So there's more. And did you record this pretty well, Bart? Because we talked about that. You did video of everything else, but not doing the makeup.
Unfortunately, I did bring my video camera to set with me a couple of times, but unfortunately, there's only about maybe 2 minutes of footage in the trailer, which, again, this documentary that's coming out in July, I gave them. I have like 2 hours of footage, so that'll be in this documentary. So there's like footage of John Ritter and Harry Anderson puppeteering the spider, and but in the trailer with us making up Tim, it's very very limited.
And how many tests?
Never. I mean, I know this one. He's a nice guy. You should get your picture taken with him if you get a chance. Who was the? I keep forgetting his name. Who was it? John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
So I did see. I guess he was a fan of Pennywise because he actually painted a picture of Pennywise, which I was flattered and repulsed at the same time. It's like, that's cool that I got a fan. It's too bad that he's a child murderer. But anyway, so I guess everybody liked Pennywise.
You said the makeup changed a little bit throughout the shooting. Can we go to the next image?
I mean, not in any great. I mean, the nose was still red. Well, that's not him at all.
No, that's
Is this the same movie? But it was mainly just finessing.
Yeah.
Mainly the eyebrows. I don't know why I didn't think of doing a template for the brows, so I freehanded those every day, which was a major pain in the ass. But thankfully, with Pax Paint, if I screwed something up, I could just paint over it and repaint it. I might have even used a Sharpie. I don't remember what but I mean, it was mostly Pax, and then a little bit of, I want to say, super color. We tried different things around the eyes, but I think ultimately it was like the Krylon Super Palette for like the blue and the.
Was it? Would you have to bring everything? So you were making pieces and traveling with that.
Layers of Pax to try and opaque out his skin tone and stuff, but it's between 2 and 3. I'm sure we probably did him just under a dozen times. So hopefully by near the end, we were closer to the 2-hour mark.
You're pretty proud of your time as a makeup artist, right? That you're pretty quick.
Well, I would never accuse myself of that. It depends on the makeup, but.
Yeah. Can we see the next image, please, Josh?
Oh, and there's again, with Joanne. Again, we shot in Canada, so we needed a Canadian on the crew, and I worked with Stefan DeClee on RoboCop, and then he recommended Joanne, so that was good enough for me, and she turned out great. So he was great. He couldn't have been nicer.
Had Legend come out by then?
Oh yeah.
So you'd seen Legend?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. In fact, he wanted us to. The first thing he said when I was talking about doing his live cast was, could you call up Moteen and just use one of those molds? But I think it had been a number of years, so I wasn't sure if he had gained weight or lost weight, or just your face changes after a while. So I convinced him you need a fresh one. But then after that, I think the next thing he did after it was Tales from the Dark Side, or Tales from the Crypt, where he played the mother, father, and daughter, and Todd Masters did that. So Tim was like, call it Bart. He's on stage, we weren't using the battery acid look. But then at some point, Tim was talking with the production, and he was like, well, Bart's done this beautiful, battery acid stage, so if you guys can, get it all shot in one day, because we were doing reshoots in Burbank anyway. So he agreed to wear it if they could shoot it out in a day. So again, I'm forever grateful that Tim, agreed to do that, because he could have just as easily said, screw it, I don't want to. But then, so when they were molding the stop motion puppet, and just when I got the stone on the front half of the mold, then they come back from Fantasy 2 and go, okay, they decided they're going with the battery acid, so we're going to do a day of reshoots with that. So now I had the little puppet that didn't match, so I had to pour up the puppet and then take a life cast, a 12th, or 6th scale life cast, and do a little tiny prosthetic that was probably about as big as the end of this microphone, and do a little application on the stop motion puppet.
Isn't that cool? That's a great story, isn't it?
So it's the smallest makeup I've ever done.
Can we have a look at the next couple of images? There you go, there it is. Isn't that great?
That was, again, at Fantasy 2, we had set up like a makeup area in their conference room. And you can see the head was pre-rigged for the plug to pop out, so you can see where that hasn't been dressed in yet. And my brother did the animation for the light coming out of his
It's
hand.